Hi, right now, this is an extra bit to the video, right? But I'm actually putting this bit at the beginning of the video so that you don't miss it by, not staying till the end of the video. What I'm also busy creating right now is a set of affidavits. These are the affidavits for the private trust. Now, this has come about because of a particular scenario, a couple of particular scenarios dealing with different organizations. So basically, we've had issues when you were dealing with outside influences that say, well, if you have a trust, then it needs to be registered with HMRC, and that can come from a couple of different areas. We've been dealing with some now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create this set of affidavits. Now, an affidavit, okay, is the highest, most powerful document you can have in private law. So this is going to be private law. So we're going to create these affidavits that we will be able to send off, or you will be able to send off to agencies, whoever it is. Now, what we're going to do is we need to get a sworn affidavit done correctly. So we need certain bodies that we're going to send them. Very similar to the lawful notice and demand. Not going out as far afield as what that does, going to the sinister seven, but some of them. All right, or maybe it's along those lines anyway. I don't want to really go into it right now until I've completed it and done it, and I'm going to send it out myself, and then others will be able to follow suit. But it's an affidavit that will be unrebutted. So we're going to present it to these agencies that are being challenging, problematic, and we're going to actually state it to them. This is the truth, this is the words that are true on our affidavit, that we are allowed to create a private trust under the law of the creator, which is natural law, and moving into the jurisdiction of equity, which is completely outside of the jurisdiction of legislation or acts and statutes. So it has nothing to do with anybody like Mr. or Mrs. HMRC or Mr. or Mrs. Land Registry, come to that matter, or any body, BODY, that may have a man or a woman who at times acts as an agent for them that can come along and try to interfere on. All right, so what we'll do is we're going to get these affidavits created. We're going to send them out. Let's just say that, there's a 7, 8, 9, 10 points that we're going to make on the affidavit, send them off to whoever, right? They have 10 days to rebut those points, point for point, written out as a man or a woman, okay, and being signed under an officer of the court. Okay, so when this comes back, which they won't rebut it, then we send the second one, okay, because you have to have a double unrebutted affidavit. Once that is done, now that will stand as words that are true in law, words that are true in fact. That there, we are going to get authorized and signed by an officer of the court. This is the difference. So fair enough, you're talking about a private trust, but without already dealing with a public body by sending it off to certain agencies that are part of the sinister seven. Well, once we get that back completely unrebutted, we state that it's unrebutted, then it is then a fact and true in law, at law. All right. So then if anybody gives us any problems, for instance, if you send it off to the land registry and say, well, it's in a private trust, and they say, well, it has to be under the HMRC, then we send them the unrebutted affidavit stamped by an officer of the court. All right, there's nothing can argue with that. You can go and you can take them to task in their private capacity if they go against an unrebutted affidavit that is signed and sealed by an officer of the court. Right, but also if you're trying to set up, say, for instance, a mailing address, and you want that mailing address to be for your private trust, and they turn around and says it has to be registered with the HMRC, which is utter nonsense because it's not under their jurisdiction, and we've got it point blank now recorded that it's not under jurisdiction, signed by and authorized and sealed by an officer of the court. Okay, so we will add that onto the course that we're going to do on this. I've got some work to do to get it sorted before the 10th of December. All right, so that's an extra couple of documents, and I will put them in the emails that are going out to everyone. There's emails going out as we build up towards the 10th, so don't worry if you're not seeing them right now. We're going to add them in as we get closer to it. Give me a chance to get them created. All right, and that will be part of the course, but we'll also have that ready for all of our PMA members, because we have our own PMA. Okay, the Will Staff PMA. You will everyone will have the ability to go onto the members area where you can go in and see those affidavits, which will help towards the private trust creation, where nobody could argue that it is private and it is not in the same jurisdiction as acts and statutes. All right, so I just thought I'd add that on at the beginning of the video. Hi there, and how are you doing? Hope everybody's doing okay. I haven't had much time to go out and be wandering around and doing some talking as I'm walking through the woods or down the beach, unfortunately. Although, I have been down the beach yesterday and I've been down the woods today, like with the dogs. But, I can't actually record or anything like when I'm out with them. Little bit too much work to do looking after them, especially when I'm doing it with just the one arm, unfortunately. So I've been having a little bit of time to break some bones and a little bit of time to heal them all up. Now, I want to talk a little bit about the private trust scenario and the situation. All right, we've got a course coming up on Saturday the 10th of December, which is going to be an online course. So it doesn't matter where you are, you can all take part in it. And we're going to go over the actual creation of the private trust documents. So I'm not going to be going on and on about equity law or how it fits, the trust law fits in with equity or any of that. We'll say basics and stuff like that, and we'll explain, how it is. But the idea is that you will be able to create from scratch, doing it with me. All right, we'll all do it together. It's on a big Zoom webinar. We'll show you, you'll be able to download all the paperwork. All right, we've got all the links in there so you can download it all. And then step by step, we're going to go and create the first document, the deed. And then we'll go back and we'll have a question and answer on it, make sure everybody's happy. And then we're going to go over the next document. All right, so I think that there's 7 documents in total, or at least 4 documents and 3 certificates for the trust. So we'll go over each one step by step. This starts at 10 in the morning. It goes on till 5 if we need to go on till 5. I booked it up till then. So, we'll cover all of those documents and we'll have a question and answer session after every single document, all 7 of them. So, we'll make sure you're all happy with that and that you've got it all before we move on to the next. Then we're going to go on to the land registry forms, and we're going to show you how to complete the land registry forms. So the simple one is the ID one, which is just you proving who you are, going in and seeing a solicitor or somebody like it. You can do an ID3, but I think it's completely not a pain in the neck. So I would stick with the ID one. People get them done from solicitors from signing it from £5 to 50 quid. It's ridiculous, the differences. So, however, all you got to do is take in some photographic ID so they can literally sign the ID one. But we're going to show you all that as well. And then we're going to go over the AP one, the TR one, and the RX one, on how to do that to support your private trust. Now, again, we will go over that a little bit because it is quite a bit of explaining, but we'll create it with you step by step. All right. Now, all of this is going to be recorded as well. So if you're attending, you'll also get the recording. So don't worry if you miss anything, because, I've been on them myself, and, you think you do it and then you think, oh, can't remember that bit. And you're looking at your own notes and you can't remember how it goes. So you'll get the recording and you'll have the notes and you'll do the paperwork on the day. I've never seen anything like this before, heard anything like this before. So, it's going to be quite something, quite different, and hopefully it's going to be hard work, right, but I think enjoyable, and it's going to give you something tangible at the end. All right, and then hopefully it'll give you something tangible at the end of it as well, as in you've got all of the documents done, and you're going to eventually get the, a couple of days later, get the video to remind you of everything that you've done as well. So, I think it's going to be something well worthwhile for you. And then once we've done the land registry form, we're going to go on to the Office of the Public Guardian. So that's going to be your lasting power of attorney. Now, there's two of them. Now, if you look at my other video that you can go onto on the channel, which is with Richard Moore, God rest his soul. He recently passed, tragic, but a lovely, lovely man. And on his video, he shows you how to tie it in with the living will. So, which is like a charity where you get the living will to support the documents on the Office of the Public Guardian. So this will tie in nicely with that. So go and have a look at his, or the on my channel, but with him, Richard Moore. Okay. But we're going to go through the show you how to create a lasting power of attorney with the Office of the Public Guardian. So this is similar to the land registry. The land registry is a public form. It's not private. We are having a private trust, but we're going to back it up with the public forms. I'm going to explain them to you, like the land registry, and then the public part with the power of attorney, which will be the lasting power of attorney for your health and wellness, as well as the lasting power of attorney for your property and your finance. And they tie together very well. And you have to put your wishes and your statements down, what you want. So, your one for health and wellness, very important. If you end up getting into hospital, you want them to know what your wishes are. If you're unconscious, can't speak, or whatever it is. I've seen it many, many times, that they will not allow anyone in to speak on behalf of the patient if the patient can't speak for themselves. Unless you have this, and it's got to be this one from the Office of the Public Guardian. So we're going to go over it for you, show you where to find it, what to do with it, how to create it, and then also how to register it, because it has to be registered as well. So we have all of ours registered for health and wellness, as well as for the property and finance. So on the property and finance, it is important because, we all are going to just pass away one day. And, if you haven't got this in place and you need to get finance, or whoever's left needs to get finances out of your bank account to help pay for funerals and stuff like that, they'll not be able to get them if they haven't got the lasting power of attorney from the Office of the Public Guardian. We were lucky, we had other family members to support us when we were in that position. We had to look after a funeral. But luckily there was enough of us to cover all the costs. However, we weren't able to access the deceased's bank account to get the money out of it for months and months and months and months and months. So all of this is vitally important, having these things put in place. So we're going to go over all of that. Now, later on, down the line, what we also will do, the reason why we're doing the land registry forms, because we're going to close off the back door, if you want, from them coming in any legal ways. Legal, all right, that's what you do with the land registry. But we're also investigating and going to start using land patents. Now, we haven't finished the investigation yet, but on the land patents, that's going to basically give us a allodial title. Once we have the land patents in place, the allodial title will be following, all right? So you're basically closing down the demands of the land registry, which is going to be, you would literally be the true owner, right? You will be like the kings and queens of your own land. Ow, stop waving that around. All right, so that's what we're going to do. So, but initially you have to do the land registry forms before we can move on with that. All right, so we're covering all of the bases here. And then after that, we're going to do the lawful notice and demand, the security agreement, and the lasting power of attorney in fact, which is different to the Office of the Public Guardian one, because all of this is to deal with your strawman name. You being the living has power of attorney over the strawman name. That's all that part is for. It's not the same as the Office of the Public Guardian power of attorney. All right. So, but still very important when we tie it all together with the security agreement and the lawful notice and demand. So once we've done them, we're also going to show you how to actually create the documentation if you ever want to do a private members association. So the private members association could be anything that is a commercial entity but wants to remain in the private, where you will do commerce with other private entities. So for instance, you can have your private entities or your members. A drinking club is a perfect example. I seen an email the other day come through asking me for to pop down to somewhere, and it's a pub, a public house, but it's not, because it's closed. Right, so they lost the license, right, for selling alcohol. But you could have a private drinking club where you could have the premises are not open to the public. You can only be allowed in if you're a private member, and then they can actually drink alcohol inside the private members association, which is just like somebody coming around your house and and having a couple of cans of beer in your house or a couple of drinks of wine in your house, right? Nobody can say you can or can't do it because it's private. Okay, you have a private party at your house. Everyone turns up to bring the drink and have a drink. You could actually do it and say, I'm going to charge you all to come into my house, right? But it's a private party, and it's the same thing. So we used to do like a lot of private parties. I used to work on the security in Spain, and you would pay a fee to get in, and then nothing was for sale once you were in, but you'd paid to be in, and it was all private. Same thing, same type of thing. And it's a private members association for whatever it would be, as long as you're not actually causing harm or distress or anything or breaking a law. All right, then you're allowed to run on a private basis. So we're going to show you how to create those documents and how to create the private members association. So all of that is going to be on Saturday the 10th of December. So it's all going to be an online course, all live but all recorded. So don't worry if you can't make it that day. We will make the recording available for purchase later on as well. So we'll get that all sorted once we edit it all. The week before that, I'm actually going to be at Gateshead doing a live event at Gateshead, which is going to be the last of this year that I'm going to be going out anywhere, which is the Teams and District Social Club on Derwent Water Road in Gateshead. Have a look at the links and the websites and everything. I'll put one in here. If anybody wants to pop along there, it's going to be the last one. Like I say, that will be getting done this year, and we'll be covering a vast array of different topics there. I am going to do a couple of other presentations, especially like online ones. I mean, especially over the Christmas and New Year, where we're having a break of doing calls and being on call and doing paperwork and everything like that, having a little bit of a break, but it's going to give me the opportunity to do some good videos that I've been working on to be able to put up on the channel. Great, informative, educational videos. A lot of history going into them and stuff like that. So stuff going on. I just thought I would do a video because I haven't been on for a while, and we are going to go into some real good educational videos that are going to be coming up, going on about it's about standing at law rather than being under legislation. But we're also going to go on to the legislation part if you ever needed it. Remember, I'm truly of the belief and looking at people who've been doing this for like 20-30 years, that you can be in the public and the private, go into law. I'm a man at law or a woman at law and stand under the creator. Or if you're in legislation, know how to actually use that legislation if you want to step into the public. Okay, so it's just a short video just to let everybody know that I might be broken, but I'll be up and running very soon and fixed. I've been to the gym 3 weeks on the trot, was doing great, and I was like getting out on the bike. I should have known better, going on to woody parts, and on the docks down in the harbour, near where my gym used to be in Blythe. I shouldn't have went onto the wooden part, the staiths they call them, where they used to have all of the ships for the coal and everything like that. I nearly ended up going in the harbour, and with breaking this, I probably would have drowned. But anyway, it is what it is, and I'm healing up nicely, and I know that I'm protected. So what we'll have to do is just keep educating ourselves on the law and the legislation. You got to know both sides. but also keeping our vibration high and keeping our spirituality going and connecting with the creator, connecting with source, as well as, like, getting out into the countryside with nature and connecting with the mother as well, Gaia, and being connected to both. And that is going to keep our vibration up and keep our energy levels up as well. That's how we actually recover from little accidents like that, and learning not to take on board all of this negativity that is getting flooded around us. We have to learn how to actually get out of this matrix by controlling little bits of it, not letting little bits of it control us. And it's hilarious when you see things and you know what's going on. For instance, right now, I've been telling people little bits about, you need to start, first of all, get into the gold and silver. Make sure you're getting your gold and silver. You don't really want to be leaving anything in a bank. So if there's anything getting paid into a bank, get it out as soon as possible. Get it into gold, get it into silver. And if you do know how to get it into crypto, get it into bits of crypto, right? But look at this. This is a major lesson. Now, there's a lot of people that are in shock now because they lost a lot of money on the crypto side because the exchange, or one of the exchanges, just shut down. Like FTX just got shut. Now that guy, who is running it, his name, he says it's his real name, Bankman Fried, Friad, however he might pronounce it. And he did get Kentucky Fried a couple of weeks ago. They completely wiped off, this is a setup, right? Don't believe anything else, but this is a complete and utter setup. Now, for many different reasons. First of all, right, and this is like Zelensky is so involved in this, and the Ukraine guy, what a scum, right? So you got like Biden giving him all, not just him, but like one of them giving him millions upon millions of dollars, right, to help for this apparent war effort. So he decides to invest it all into FTX, all into this crypto exchange run by Bankman Fried, of all things. So then Bankman Fried, what he does is he decides, or, he actually donates all of that money to Biden and the Democrat Party. Yeah, there's nothing dodgy about that whatsoever. That's totally fine. And then declares bankruptcy. So, but the other side of that, not only is that like massively, disgustingly, crazily corrupt, right? The whole thing, it's shown them all just how corrupt they all are, that big circle of scum, right? But it's also shocking everyone else. Not only did loads of people lose money, you never leave your coins on an exchange. If you go in and you get involved in crypto, whatever it is that you want to do, all right, it could be whatever line that you're going into. I've got like some more information coming out about where you should be looking at, right? But right, we don't want to be trapped in the CBDC side, right, the central bank digital currency side. So we've got to like make sure that we know how we can actually be digital, because it's going to happen no matter what, right? But now they're trying to show, so get your coins off, or get your tokens off, or whatever crypto you have, you get them in your wallet, all right? If they're not your keys, they're not your coins. If they're not your keys, they're not your crypto. So you can buy it, however you actually invest in it, right? Do it, and then get it off and get it onto a wallet. Get it onto a hot wallet or a cold wallet, whichever one. I showed you a couple of them. We've got the one of them I've got up here actually. The other one's the Ledger, and then I've got that one there as well, right? The Decent. So there's a couple of cold wallets that you can store them on, but they're still locked on the blockchain. They can't do it. The governments cannot interfere with the blockchain, no matter what anyone tells you. There's a couple of names that I've got there that are geniuses on blockchain, just blockchain technology, and he couldn't care less about the government, right? Because of what the government would lose billions and then still not get anywhere. They'd only be able to affect this blockchain, okay, for only on their little bit of blockchain. The blockchain moves on all the time, okay. But you have to learn how to actually get involved in it properly, so not get swallowed up by the CBDCs, and you will just disappear into oblivion. All right. So that there was set up to scare people. That FTX was set up to scare people. So like, oh, it's really dodgy, that cryptocurrency. You've got to be scared, you know, because it's all going to be destroyed. It's just the same thing as when they're looking at your country. Don't leave your country. Don't go to this country. You'll all die. You know, you've all got to hide in your own country. The same as all hide in your own house, because if you come out of the house, you've got a nasty bug's going to go and kill everyone. Right? And this is just like, stay away from this investment unless, or stay away from cryptocurrency unless you do it the way we see. So you can have our CBDCs. They're safe. They're programmable. All right. So you'll be able to go and buy whatever you're allowed to buy when you use their currency. So there's a double-edged coin, double-edged sword, double-edged coin. It's a double-sided coin, right? But a double-edged sword, right? Not only was there just a massive, massive corruption, which is so easy to see, right, by this FTX and the Biden and Zelensky, all right? But on top of that, right, they're trying to make everyone, the sheeple that don't go and do any kind of like research, don't educate themselves on what's going on, don't know what's going on in the real essence of the world, all right? Just take everything at fat value. The news said it, so it's got to be true. Right, that it's dangerous to actually get involved, or that's dodgy getting involved in any type of thing apart from what the government tell you to do. So if it is a digital currency, we'll just have to do theirs, the CBDC, whatever it would be. And I don't know what it's going to be yet. Nobody truly knows. You know, you've got so many different bits of information coming out, and you get one part will tell you one thing, and then someone else will tell you completely the opposite. So it's confusing. But I do have some really good information that I'm going to be sharing out soon. And next year, Gateshead is the last this year. But next year, when we start going out and doing some more talks, not only will we be helping you with the problems of debt, the problems of possible the council tax, and how to get a deal with that, but also, you know, like how to stand in privacy, also about private trust, but how we got in the mess in the first place, what's the history on it. All right, but also quite a bit on, look, this is how to actually escape the matrix. The matrix is weak now, you know. The matrix, the veil, right, that they've pulled over us is thinner because of people keeping the vibration high and people fighting back. So this is the time to start really investigating on how to get yourself out the matrix. The only way to be free, right, however you actually look at doing it, is this kind of build yourself up out of there. You've got to get away from their control. How do you get away from their control? Well, you've got to move above their levels of income. All right, we have to try and figure ways of getting away from them more and more and more. You know, like there's one thing of being about, like, oh, let's go and set up a community, but you can't do it with grass and twigs. Okay, there's got to be something of substance there. So we're looking at ways of creating that substance to move above their levels. You know, you can't go and say, oh, I'm going to go and have it be in a community and we'll all live and everything will be free. It doesn't work like that. Okay, you can't live like that, or not unless you're going to eat grass and live in mud huts that you could build it with your own muddy little hands. You have to have something to actually get into these communities. All right, so, you know, they don't magically appear. Like they said, money doesn't grow on trees, but leaves do, but we can't eat them, or at least not all of them anyway. So, you know, we're going to be looking at ways of helping people to get out of the matrix as well as protecting them while they're in the matrix. But more on that as we develop, okay? But that'll do for now, and we'll get back a couple of extra new videos that will be coming up, you know, talking about a little bit more about the history of what this nonsense has created, and then, you know, going more into the law and also like the legislation as well to help you with things. And debt, how to smash debt, get out of debt, all right, because it doesn't exist anyway. It's all a fiction. It's a figment of your imagination that's been hammered into you since birth. All right, but until then, keep the vibration high. All right, keep it up there. The veil is thin. The matrix is weakening. Keep pushing. Keep your vibration up. Keep your level of positivity up and stay away from all the negative doom and gloomers. All right, and we will smash the matrix. Take care.